Coming up tonight, traveling home for Thanksgiving, we'll have some important updates for your travel plans.
And Talking Points, Elijah Sharma is in studio to talk about this week's crucial vote in the House of Representatives.
And we'll have a preview of what film to see this weekend in theaters.
The news you need to know only on Citrus TV News, live at 6.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Max Darrow.
And I'm Jessica Mendelson. Students all over campus are heading out of the Salt City this weekend for the first break of the semester. That's our top story. Starting on the SU Hill, buses are leaving from Shine to Boston, New York City, and Washington, D.C. this weekend. The Student Association is providing round-trip transportations for students traveling for Thanksgiving break. The ticket costs $99 and can be bought at Shine box office. Student Life Committee Chair Keelan Earhart says the program brings the buses right to campus so students don't have to rely on finding a way to the Regional Transportation Center.
And heading to the airport, well, TSA PreCheck opens today at the Hancock International Airport. The PreCheck option allows low-risk passengers to having a shorter security line and keep their shoes and jackets on during the process. Syracuse is the last major city in New York State to add this option for flyers, just in time for my Thanksgiving travels. And depending on where you may be flying home to, you may find yourself in a picket line. Workers at 7 major U.S. airports are on strike. The workers, including janitors and cabin cleaners, are calling for $15 an hour wages. In Chicago, security workers through contracting a company also joined the protest. And in Fort Lauderdale, strikers include baggage handlers and more. Major airlines, including JetBlue, Delta, and United, have all said the protest should not affect air travel. It's unclear how many workers are striking across the nation and how long this strikes will last.
Police are saying that off-campus crime has not increased. DPS notified students of 5 incidents in the last month. Though last month's shelter in place following a nearby off-campus shooting may have heightened fear of off-campus crime, DPS officials say that isn't so. And while near the holidays, Syracuse University is always filled with opportunities to give back to those in need, and this year is no exception. Citrus TV News reporter Maria Cinti tells us what the Office of Engagement Programs is doing to make this Thanksgiving one to remember.
Syracuse University is filled with fundraisers and events throughout the entire school year, but these events tend to stack up around the holidays. The Office of Engagement Programs, located in Hendricks Chapel, is in the middle of their 9th annual Harvest Food Drive, a cross-campus fundraiser where SU students and faculty have the opportunity to donate food throughout the month of November. Graduate Assistant Laura Villers says the Harvest Food Drive is a time to connect campus to the outer community and give back to those who are less fortunate.
We gather this food because right around the holidays there's a big push in our area for emergency food services, which is people who don't always have consistent access to food or don't know where their next meal is coming from. So we are trying to gather everyone together to make sure that we can give back to our community because we're so lucky to be on campus.
The Office of Engagement Programs is accepting both perishable and non-perishable food items until tomorrow. Donation boxes are located all across campus, including several locations inside Hendricks Chapel and the bookstore at Shine Student Center. Villers says that this university-wide effort will help those who cannot afford to buy a Thanksgiving meal.
If we can really mobilize our community to give back, we can make a much greater impact than individuals going out doing their own individual work.
The Office of Engagement Programs is hosting a packaging party here at Hendricks Chapel tomorrow from 11 to 1 p.m., where volunteers will gather and pack up all of the donations given throughout the past few weeks. And then all of these donations will be sent off to several organizations such as the Food Bank of Central New York. I'm Maria Cinti, Citrus TV News.
And coming up on Citrus TV News, our coverage of Paris continues. What officials confirm happened in their nightly raids.
Protests at colleges around the nation continue. What 2 schools joined in this week?
And Citrus TV's Elijah Sharma is in studio. Stay with us.
Well, we've been experiencing a lot of strong winds today with gusts anywhere between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Luckily, the winds have calmed down for now, but are we going to see them again tomorrow? Stay tuned to find out that and if we're going to see any snowfall before Thanksgiving coming up.
Huntington!
Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there. Oh,
Where's that bear?
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome to Orange Press Pass.
Orange Press Pass is your ticket inside the Syracuse locker room. Hear from the coaches.
We got some open looks from the perimeter
and players.
Well, I saw pressure coming from the backside.
Get in-depth analysis, reports on site, and more.
Let's go on OPP.
Orange Press Pass, live after every Syracuse game.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
With the looming threat of a presidential veto, the Republican-controlled House approved a bill today that would require the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the Director of National Intelligence to confirm every refugee applicant.
In addition to Congress, 26 United States governors, all Republican, say that Syrian refugees are not welcome in their states.
President Obama said that refusing these refugees would go against our core values, and he is expected to veto the legislation.
Mr. Obama plans to admit 10,000 vetted Syrian refugees next year out of the 18,000 recommended by the United Nations.
Experts say the states do not have legal power to deny the refugees, but by not cooperating, they can make the process more difficult and buy time for a more thorough vetting process that they are calling for.
Joining us now is Talking Points correspondent Elijah Shama. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be here.
So Elijah, to start off, can you let us know who these migrants are for the most part?
Well, for the most part, these migrants are coming from Syria, Eritrea, and Afghanistan. The breakdown of the Syrian refugees in particular are 49.7% male and 50.3% female, and the two main age demographics that we're seeing coming from Syria are 18 to 59-year-olds and 5 to 11-year-olds. So we're seeing a lot of young children to adolescents, and we're seeing young adults to more middle-aged.
So these refugees are going to be facing a lot of challenges coming to the United States.
Yes, in addition to the U.S. vote, which was 289 to 137 in favor of delaying this program, it's worth noting that 47 Democrats joined the 242 Republicans in favor of the bill. These migrants face tremendous pressure, especially from these 26 governors who are denying basically refugees outright. The interesting part is that they don't have the legal precedent to do this, and by doing this, the State Department can force these refugees on them, but the states have the authority to withhold funds and basically help make it very hard for these refugees to learn English, to get the process in job training, and basically deny their kids education. So it's very difficult for these people once they make it to America if they go to these states.
So now moving on to the House, do they have the ability to override this veto that could happen?
Currently, they do have the majority to override that veto. What we're seeing mainly, though, is that it will likely go through, but Harry Reid is promising to fight it in the Senate.
So do you think this influx of refugees poses a risk or a security risk to the United States?
The short answer, no. Out of the over 850,000 refugees that America has taken since 2001, only 3 have been convicted of terrorism, and it was not domestic terrorism, it was plotting for abroad terrorism. That means that there was 1 conviction for every 286,000 refugees that we took in. In addition to that, this U.S. State Department's vetting process is incredibly thorough. For example, the owner of a food stand in a neighborhood under opposition control of ISIS, whom fighters bought a falafel sandwich from, would not be allowed into the United States. To give you an idea of how stringent this is, it's not only just being involved in terrorist activities, it's supporting terrorists materially as well.
Thanks for being with us tonight, Elijah.
Oh, my pleasure.
For more on this subject and other political subjects making headlines, you can check out Talking Points at 7:30 on Thursday nights on the Orange Television Network.
Princeton and Columbia have now joined the list of schools protesting racial issues on campus. Inspired by the student activism at the University of Missouri, students at Princeton walked out of class and held a sit-in at the president's office, giving him a list of demands. At Columbia, students harassed their president's home in an effort to join his fireside chat. And new data suggests that police officers in Chicago are rarely disciplined. The Invisible Institute released hundreds of pages detailing the names of officers and the many complaints placed against them. The data from 2015 shows that for 99% of complaints, there was no discipline. The research also shows that African American officers were twice as likely to receive punishment than their white colleagues. The new data is shedding light on what's really happening inside the Chicago Police Department.
The mastermind behind last week's terrorist attack in Paris is dead. French authorities confirmed he was killed in the raid of an apartment in a Paris suburb Wednesday morning that led to the death of 2 suspected attackers and the arrests of 7 more. A massive manhunt is still underway for more suspects who played a role in the attack. And though ISIS has taken responsibility for a string of recent terrorist attacks, a new study finds they're not the deadliest terrorist group. Instead, Boko Haram holds that title. Boko Haram is a militant group concentrated in the northern states of Nigeria. The group was responsible for over 6,600 deaths last year, up 317% from the year before. ISIS was responsible for the death of 6,000 people in the Middle East. And China may now be getting involved in the fight against ISIS. Beijing has said that ISIS needs to be put to justice after killing a Chinese hostage this week. The hostage is the first Chinese to be killed by the group. He was murdered alongside a Norwegian hostage. China has not been involved in airstrikes against the Islamic extremist group, and it is not clear to what extent they will aid in fighting the group.
And coming up after the break, Jamie Weiss has a look at your Thanksgiving travel plans.
And what drink may be saving your life? CitrusTV. We'll be right back.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Mark your calendars for October 1st, 2016. Next season, Syracuse football faces Notre Dame as the Orange and Irish again meet in the NFL's home to the Giants and the Jets, MetLife Stadium. Tickets on sale November 18th at the Carrier Dome box office. As a bonus, with any purchase, you'll also receive a free ticket to Syracuse's regular season finale. That's this November 28th versus Boston College in the Carrier Dome.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Well, Jess, considering Thanksgiving break starts this weekend, it was really hot today.
I was very surprised by the weather today, but Citrus TV's Jamie Weiss is in studio with our full weather forecast.
Thanks, Jessica. Well, I want to point out the weather almanac today. Today's high was 66 degrees, low was 38, compared to the average, which is only 47 to 32. I don't know about you guys, but I am much more happy with 66 and cloudy than 47 and snowy. So currently 58 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, lighter winds than what we experienced today. Currently about 13 mile per hour winds, but earlier today we saw 21 miles per hour winds. If you want to see some of that, check out my Twitter, Jamie L. Weiss. So if we look across the area, we can see a lot of mild fall temperatures, but we are seeing a lot of wind in the Great Lakes region. If we take a look at our precipitation map, we can see we're seeing some precipitation in the area, and we're seeing a little bit of frost coming in, but luckily that's not hitting Syracuse. Tomorrow morning we'll wake up to 48 degrees, partly cloudy skies, still breezy, but 16 mile per hour winds. Now, a lot of you are traveling home for the holidays, so if you are driving southbound, expect rain once you get near Delaware, heading towards DC. And if you're driving eastward towards Boston, there will be possible rain along the coast. Now, if you're flying home like me, I'm not predicting any weather-related delays, but that could change depending on your flight travel. So as we look at our 5-day weather forecast, it'll be breezy the rest of today with some rain. Tomorrow, 48 degrees, partly sunny, partly cloudy through the rest of the week. And then Monday in Syracuse, it'll be mostly cloudy and 39 degrees. So the temperatures will dip a little bit. And that's it for your 5-day weather forecast. Back to you, Max and Jess.
Jamie, thank you so much. Well, the American Psychological Association reports that adult stress levels are on the rise, but now there is a new way to relax.
Citrus TV's Kelsey Clamera has more on a new trend that you may remember from childhood.
We used to think they were just for kids, but adults everywhere are sharpening their pencils and pulling out their coloring books.
I don't make time for myself, and I need something relaxing, and when I heard about this, it was perfect.
Adult coloring books are the latest trend to help release stress from everyday life.
I tried to stay all green. It's creative, and it does keep my mind off anything else in my life that's going on.
And Brewerton Library is just one organization holding sessions for adult coloring.
I thought it would be a fun thing for people that don't have anything else to do, especially on winter mornings. It started out the first week there were 3 people. Last week there were 16. Today I think there's 13 or 14 in there.
Studies show that adults are more stressed than ever, but psychologists say that coloring really helps. So get out those colored pencils and start coloring.
Psychology professor Corey White says that everyone has stress, but it's how we cope with it. He calls the coloring books a method of mindfulness.
And the idea of turning your thoughts inward to your own feelings, your own thoughts, your own perceptions, but doing so in a non-judgmental way. And not saying my thoughts are good or bad, just saying these are my thoughts.
He says that methods of mindfulness can steer people away from unhealthy habits such as substance abuse.
And this act of mindfulness has been shown to be very effective for a number of different problems that people have.
And it looks like this trend may be here to stay.
I love it.
Kelsey Clamera, Citrus TV News.
Well, new research says that coffee could actually lower your risk for an early death.
The study showed people who drank between 1 to 3 cups of coffee a day had a 7% lower risk of dying from health complications.
Although the more coffee one drinks, the better it may appear.
Those who drank between 3 to 5 cups lowered their risk by 15%.
And this is great news for students as finals are approaching. Square, a company who runs the mobile payments for Twitter, was up 45% in their shares for their IPO this afternoon.
But some say it is still a sign of weakness for startup companies in Silicon Valley.
Last night, Square began pricing at $9 a share, well below expected.
Officials say this could be a bad sign for startups looking to go public one day.
And comic book nerds, rejoice. The newest piece of this ever-expanding Marvel Cinematic Universe, Jessica Jones, premieres on Netflix tonight.
The show is part of a deal between Netflix and Marvel, bringing some of the smaller and darker superheroes like Daredevil and Iron Fist to the silver screen.
Daredevil premiered this winter, scoring raving reviews and large commercial success, so the expectations remain high for Miss Jones.
Viewers can expect 3 more series coming within the next few years. Well, after 3.5 years and more than $1 billion, the acclaimed Hunger Game franchise is coming to an end.
The fourth and final film, Mockingjay Part 2, debuts tonight at midnight.
The film series, which launched Jennifer Lawrence to superstardom, follows her character Katniss as she tries to overthrow a post-apocalyptic government.
Discount tickets for this event have been made available through Orange After Dark, so students with tickets can catch a bus at the Shine Student Center tonight.
Now, Citrus TV's Nick Dugan joins us with what's ahead in sports.
Thanks, Jess. Coming up in sports, we'll preview field hockey's trip to Ann Arbor in the Final Four. Also, women's ice hockey was in action last night, and find out what quarterback Zach Mahoney had to say on the upcoming showdown with NC State this weekend. All that and more on the other side of the break.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
In a rematch of last year's national championship, SU field hockey is set to take on rival UConn in the national semifinals tomorrow at noon. This will be the fifth time the Orange has encountered the Huskies in the postseason in the past 5 years. In those games, Syracuse is 4-1, their only loss coming in the 2014 title game. The Orange will look to start quickly, as no player on the current roster has scored a point against the Huskies in their career. However, 6 of SU's 9 wins over the former Big East foes in their history have come under current head coach Ange Bradley's tenure. The SU women's ice hockey team took to the ice last night in hopes of improving upon their 5-7-1 record in 2015. The Orange picked to come out on top of a tough CHA in the preseason, entered the night tied for second behind the Lakers of Mercyhurst. And they were able to pick up 2 points in a 5-1 win of the RIT Tigers. Junior Jessica Sibley certainly earned first star of the night for the Orange, netting 2 goals and adding on 1 assist. Allie Monroe, Stephanie Grossi, and Nicole Renault all added 2 points for the Orange, while goalkeeper Jen Gilligan made 11 stops between the pipes. RIT, with the loss, remains winless in the CHA. The Orange is back in action tomorrow night at Central New York rival Colgate at 7 p.m. And now to the people that get paid to play hockey. That's Syracuse Crunch taking on Portland Pirates. And in the first, Matthew Pekka for Syracuse turns the puck over, and Connor Brickley scores in front, 1-0 Portland. And then, welcome back to Central New York. Rob Schremp, the native, puts one top shelf, puts the Pirates up 2-0, still in the first. And then Philippe Paradis, he says, not so fast, as Syracuse looking to make a comeback, uses both posts to score that goal. 3-1 Portland, Syracuse looking to make a comeback, but the one is all they would get, as Portland nets an empty netter here. 4-1 is the final, and Syracuse Crunch has their 3-game home winning streak snapped. Former SU football player Jim Ridlin received the Tom Osborne Legacy Award. He was recognized for his outstanding citizenship and his artistic contribution to the Outland Trophy for college football's best offensive lineman. Ridlin started at halfback from 1954 to 1956 before teaching at the College of Visual Performing Arts for 35 years. With a loss last Saturday, the Orange's losing streak rose to 7 games and puts them out of automatic bowl bid. The season continues nevertheless for SU football as they head down to Raleigh to face an NC State team just one spot ahead of Coach Schaefer's squad in the division standings. Likely starting quarterback Zach Mahoney says that in order to pull out a win on Saturday, he needs to find his weapons downfield.
After watching the film, I was obviously disappointed that we didn't win. You know, there were a lot of big throws that I didn't hit and a lot of reads, especially at the end, that if I made them differently, it could have been a whole different game. But overall, I thought I did okay, but I'm hoping to do better. My completion percentage is awful right now. I really want to be able to hit the throws that I see. I feel like I've been making okay reads, but I want to be able to hit the receivers because we have some great guys out there, so I know if I can get them with the ball, they're going to do some great things.
You feel like it?
Well, Nick, as much of us are heading home, sitting on our couches watching SU football, how do you think it's going to go down this weekend?
Well, SU's matchup against NC State not looking so good, but if backup quarterback Zach Mahoney does indeed play and he finds his receivers downfield, as he mentioned to the media, I think that SU may actually have a good shot at pulling this one off, an upset maybe in Raleigh this weekend.
Let's hope for some good moves by Mahoney. Thanks so much.
And after the break, one last look at your weather.
And 7 years ago, well, not quite. We'll take a look at your Throwback Thursday when Citrus TV News comes back.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach
likes
your
you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
If you want more of Citrus TV, make sure to stay tuned on OTN after news at 6. Up next, catch all the highlights of every SU sport with On the Bench.
And after that, get your entertainment news fix with Orange Zest.
And don't forget our political talk show Talking Points is live at 7:30.
Citrus TV is always on OTN through 8 p.m. following news at 6. Well, Jamie, it was really windy today. It felt like I was going to get blown over.
Yeah, well, that's not going away. There's actually a wind advisory in effect for tonight, anywhere between 20 and 23 mile per hour winds. So try to not go outside if you don't need to.
So coming back from break, it's going to be December. Do you think we're finally going to see snow?
I think we're finally going to see snow. I know each week we're always wondering, when's that first snowfall going to come? I looked ahead. Tuesday is when that first frost is expected, but of course none of us will be on campus for Thanksgiving, so hopefully there'll be a little dusting when we come back, maybe a white Christmas by the time we leave for winter break.
So can you give us one last review of people who are traveling, what they should be aware of?
Well, if you're driving, be aware of the wind, be aware of the precipitation. If you're flying like Max and I, you're pretty lucky. You won't have any weather-related delays that I can be aware of.
Well, Jamie, thanks so much.
Well, for this week's Throwback Thursday, we're taking it back to 12 years ago.
On this date in 1863, over 150 years ago, Abraham Lincoln gave his famous Gettysburg Address.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania was the site of the bloodiest battle in the Civil War.
The battle was also a turning point in the war as General Robert Lee stopped the Confederate pursuit of Northern Territory.
The speech became one of the most historic in American history. Well, that's all the time we have tonight. Make sure to check us out on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and our website, citrustv.net.
I'm Max Darrow.
And I'm Jessica Mendelson. Have a nice night, Syracuse, and a great Thanksgiving break.